Hello.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Network.
Oh, God. Are you nuts?
With your host, Phil Grande.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to my podcast. I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. The CPI, PPI, these are very important reports. But we're looking for CPI to come in cool and the PPI to come in cool. That means techs rally and banks weaken. That means we go long tech and we short banks. That's how you make good money. Now, every month we get the two reports. But stocks always do what they're supposed to do, but never when they're supposed to do it. And that's why you've got to follow the money, the trend of money created by the institutions. You don't follow the jibber jabbers, okay, with the reports. To give you an example, yeah, we had a cool CPI and PPI, but the opposite happened. So when, when we had the cool CPI and tech supposed to rally, it didn't. Tech went down. Okay? Banks were supposed to go down, but they went up. But if you follow the trend of money, then you would have been fine. Because then you would have saw an opportunity to short tech and buy banks. But when you follow what they're telling you on CNBC and Fox Business and listening to the jibber jabbers who work for Wall Street, not for you or me, you're losing money. So every month, these are very important numbers because think about it. 10 years ago, income, household income averaged up $84,000. Today, you only can buy $64,000 worth of stuff with that $84,000. What are you, nuts? That's a hell of a drop, almost a 30% drop. Gone. How do you make it up? You don't. So inflation's eating everybody's paychecks. So again, over that last 10 years, your buying power, your checks are getting crushed. And the reason is because of Congress. Because Congress, remember, they refuse to cut programs, cut spending. Example, here's some of the programs that they refuse to cut. $2.1 million to study why mice on cocaine prefer jazz over classical music. They refuse to cut that program. Another program to study shrimp running on a tiny underwater treadmill. Why? I don't know. They're probably just doing it to have fun. If you ask them a question, if they could talk. It'd take $3 million to figure that out. $500,000 to teach pigeons how to tell the difference between a Picasso and a Monet. What are you, nuts? $2.5 million to develop a video game about climate change for monkeys, not you and me, for monkeys. I'm not making this stuff up. So what do? You ask them to cut these programs, Congress, and they refuse. So they do a little trick. Let's say a program costs $100,000. They'll increase it to $200,000. Okay, now it's at $300,000, and they'll cut it back by $50,000, and they keep the program because it shows they cut. They do this all the time. It's dishonest. But that's what they do in Congress. That's how they get away with it. And this is crazy. But even though those are funny examples, that's dangerous. And it's very sad because 10 years ago, that $84,000 that you made, you and your wife in a household, that could buy nearly $80,000 worth of stuff, you only can buy like 30% less. It's only worth $64,000. So I don't think that's funny. They wouldn't cut those programs. Because see, each one of those programs are tied to a big donor. Somebody's going to give them money, keeps them in Congress. Inflation, by the way, it's interesting. Did you hear what Warsh said in front of Congress, that inflation's a choice? Play the cut.
Chairman said at the outset, inflation's a choice.
What's he, nuts? Inflation's not a choice for you and me, for the public. It's a consequence of their stupid policies. A choice? Consumers, I know I didn't, I don't know about you, but Congress didn't run some stupid program, okay? Let's say, I'm just trying to think of, let's say the Treasury flooding the system with $500 billion in new debt each quarter. So in other words, Congress is running, we did not choose, what I'm trying to say is, we did not choose to put $5 billion every day, to spend $5 billion more in the tax revenue. We didn't choose to have a $5 billion daily deficit. We didn't choose that every quarter Congress sells treasuries that increases our debt to pay the bills. We didn't choose that. We chose for them to cut the programs, but they didn't. I just showed you the trick they use so they don't have to. Consumers, you and I didn't choose to hold the rates for 7 years at 0%, which is finally killing the housing market today, because a lot of people got mortgages. 60% of mortgages being held in the United States, 60 to 65% or 2 to 3%. That destroyed the whole housing market. Nobody's selling their homes. So we're short houses. We don't have inventory. So house costs are going up. People say, all right, I'll sell my house, but I got a 2.5%, 3% mortgage, 4% mortgage. So I'll tell you what, my house is worth $600,000. Give me $800,000, and I'll do it. That wasn't our choice to drop interest rates to 2%, 3% mortgages, 4%. That wasn't our choice. I mean, the Fed holding rates to 0 for 7 years, that wasn't our choice. None of those were choices made by you and I. So what's he talking about? Warsh is saying inflation is a choice. He is saying, or he should be saying, for your congressman, not for us. He should be saying inflation is a choice for the congressman to overspend. Easy money, that's their choice. They decide on easy money. Nobody called me. Did anybody call you? Say, let's keep interest rates at 0? Nobody called me. They made that decision without you or me. 0 rates for 7 years. I didn't get a call. Say, am I okay with that? My congressman didn't call me. Did your congressman call you? I didn't get a call. So, households don't choose a 30% increase in inflation. They don't. They didn't choose. I didn't choose to pay $2,500 more per year in groceries. I didn't choose to pay 20 to 40% increase in rent. Did you? I didn't choose to pay my insurance company up about 40 to 60% increase. Did you? Were you okay with that? Did they call you? No. This is all our congressmen. They made those decisions. I don't see anybody in there fighting to get their insurance costs down, do you? No. Insurance company owns Congress. And I certainly didn't choose to double the mortgage rate from 3% to 7%, did you? No. So the bottom line, that inflation is a choice, is a bunch of BS. Families didn't choose. That's insane. Now, households do have a choice. The choice they have is, do they want to listen to the most important reports that affect your life the most, the CPI and PPI that identifies inflation. They have a choice. They should look into that. They should look into that. But you know, out of 128 million U.S. households, less than 10% to 12% ever look into the CPI. They don't know what the CPI is. They don't know what the PPI is. They have no idea what inflation. 128 million households, less than 10% even heard of the CPI or PPI. So they're not educating themselves. So yeah, they have a choice to educate themselves. And then if they educated themselves and found out how they're getting screwed, maybe they call their congressman. So we're the blame. Really not Congress. They put a report out, but nobody reads it. What are you, nuts? We get lied to. Headline unemployment is low. Really? Play a couple cuts.
But the one big story that I think is a surprise is just how strong the labor market is.
That's a bunch of BS. Are you kidding? Job openings look high because companies can't fill positions at current wages. Wage growth looks strong only because inflation forced wages up, not increased productivity or a booming economy or full-time jobs. We're being told how strong the labor market is, but more people are working, and more people are working now. They're telling us than ever before. We've never seen such a beautiful labor market. That's not true. They're counting bodies, not jobs. The little trick they use. The death metric system. Full-time jobs are shrinking. They're not increasing. The growth is almost entirely in part-time, gig work, temp work, government jobs. Labor participation is still below the pre-pandemic levels, meaning fewer people are actually working today. So when you hear more people working now, that's a bold-faced lie. If the labor market is so strong, why are 40% of workers holding 2 or more jobs? One more cut I'm going to play for you.
Every CEO I've spoken with recently basically has said the same thing, that the economy is strong. They plan to continue spending. They plan to keep hiring at this point as well.
Consumer spending looks strong. Yeah, because households are using credit cards, not income, not job, not savings. They don't have any. And they don't count units when they sell something at a store. Government doesn't count units. Prices keep going up. Inflation keeps going up. And if you had a $200,000 in sales 1 month and you had $210,000 the next month, oh boy, look how the economy's growing. All right, they went from 200,000 to 210,000, but sales really went down 15%. But they don't count units per sale, units sold, I should say. They should. We get the truth. So again, corporate hiring looks strong because companies are filling, again, cheap part-time roles. That's it. Government hiring looks strong because federal, state, and local payrolls keep expanding. We don't get good jobs. So I hope you, again, the next time we have a report, the CPI and the PPI, understand when CPI comes in cool, tech should rally and banks should sell off. Didn't do it this time. You have to know why. And that's how you get hurt trading stocks when you don't know why. We'll help you with that. philsgang.com, free for 10 days. See you on the charts.
Are you nuts?